Now I want to talk about a movement I feel is bubbling up in our economy. You know, this is bubbling up so much, I think it's going to explode sooner than you think it is. So if you haven't been involved in it yet, yeah, I'm sure you will soon. It's called the sharing economy. And this is where we share our assets. You know, and this is a fellow that I interviewed. He's out in San Francisco. Where else? You know, that's something like this one. But he's sort of an organization that follows this economy and helps neighborhoods and helps communities, you know, participate in sharing economy. And actually what's neat about it, sharing economy, now he himself saved $17,000 for his family in 1 year in the sharing economy. That's right, $17,000. So instead of trying to get a raise from your, you know, idiot boss or whatever, or wherever you work with, some corporation, that, man, if you live your life a little bit differently, you could get a $17,000 raise and live a more enjoyable life too. This sharing economy is happening all over. You know, I mean, people are doing it with their homes, their, you know, cars, their clothing, their workspace, their land, retail space. All these kinds of things are now shareable. And expertise. You know, why go and hire somebody for $100 an hour in expertise when somebody's in a community that you're involved in that gives that out for free because they're sharing it. They'll eventually need some expertise that you have. See, so this is why it's happening all over the world. You can't fix your computer; it's all screwed up, right? So if you belong to a sharing group that does this, you know, then you get that fixed for free because you know something else. You know, you know how to fix. You can tell somebody what to look at if they, you know, can't fix their plumbing or whatever the heck it is. You know, and that's what we can share. We've done some of these individual things. And see, why this is growing so much is because of the internet. See, before the internet, we all needed some big company, you know, like Hertz or whatever, to get a rental car. Well, no, the guy 2 blocks over rarely uses his car. And you can get for a fraction of the price. But no, you don't really know that guy, right? He doesn't really know you, you know. So you have to wait to meet him at some meeting or whatever. But no, now it's on the internet. So you go, I need a car, you know, from 4 to 6 tomorrow afternoon, and you just go on, it's there. And see what's neat, he doesn't have to worry about you because you feel, you know, you're vented. If you borrowed somebody else's car and you screwed it up, man, nobody's going to want to rent lend to you anymore. Yeah, so that's what, and they're vented too, and they have insurance, and see, it's all so organized now that is sharing becomes so much more, you know, interesting, and it's cheaper. It's like half the price of what you're going to do from, you know, Hertz or whatever that can. But it's not only that; it's room space, it's office space, you know, everything. It's tools. It's you need camping gear just for a day. You don't want to invest $1,000 in all this camping gear for a day, yeah, because you're going 1 day a year on camping when you can get it for next to nothing. You know, that's what's neat about it. Then you don't have the clutter. That's why it makes so much sense. We have landfills that are bursting at the guts, you know. we don't know where to put our garbage. Garbage is one of the biggest industries. It's costing us so much money. Man, just think if we cut that down, or even energy use and all that. I mean, it just makes so much sense, you know. Plus, you don't need all that crap, yeah. Yeah, if you're going to use it once. That's why the sharing economy is so much, and the internet technology has made it easier for us to do that. So now, and it's also, what's neat about it, it's made it more fun. You go to some individual that you now build up a relationship with instead of, you know, Hertz or Comcast, some big company that treats you like hell, you know, because they know you can't go anywhere else or whatever. But now you can, and that's why it's getting power down the individual level, giving them people, you know, more control of their lives and their assets and where to share things. It is much more fun too. You get individual relationships. People treat you nice, you know, and if you're not nice, you know, you're not going to get anything on the system because that goes on the system. Yeah, that you left, you know, you spilled a Coke all over their car, you know, or something like that, and that will show up. And it's going to be tough for you to rent a car, you know. So that's what's cool about this shareable society. And so this is a place, the interview you're going to see There's a fellow, he keeps track of this. Not in this country, around the world. So, we're not the first, country to think about this. For years now, this has been bubbling, around the world, because it just makes so much sense, And now, and particularly, man, if you're tight with cash, this makes a whole bunch of sense. If you're not worried about the economy or or the whales or the earth or whatever that kind of stuff, you just want to make money or save money. This is the how to do it. Watch it. Well, Neil Gornflow, and Ben, you're the founder, the starter, the genius, the everything behind Shareable.net. And you've been talking about the shared economy for what, almost 10 years now, before anybody knew how to spell it. And you've been doing this. So why did you start this venture to educate the rest of us stupid people who don't realize the advantage of this stuff?
Well, I started it because I wanted a better life for myself, and I just thought it would be more fun, and I could save a lot of money, and it would also be green, and save resources and be better for the planet and society. So that's why I did it. I mean, but the first impulse was really like that it was better for me.
So you're greedy after all, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Selfish, greedy person.
Sure. I mean, it's got to work for you. It's got to work for you too. It's and that's the cool thing about sharing is you feel you get immediate impact. You meet people. It's fun. It's social, and then you can save a ton of cash at the same time.
Like what? What's an example like we don't think of normally about sharing, where we could save a bunch of dough by just sharing it with people?
Oh yeah, a ton. Well, I did this thing, Matthew, where called the Year of Living Shareably. So I did a year-long sharing life experiment where I tried 30 different sharing services or patterns, and I saved $17,000. My family saved $17,000 in 1 year.
Wow! Well, now that's the thing. How to save $17,000 in 1 year and not change your lifestyle, right?
Yeah. Well, you're changing it a little bit. You are doing things a little bit different way. For instance, one of the ways we saved a lot of money was instead of using commercial childcare, we did a child care co-op in our own home and had a couple families do it with us, and that saved us around $10,000 alone. And our nanny that we hired, they made more money than they would if they were just with one family.
I see. Wow. So you were able to share that. Actually, I just saw, who's the guy who used to own AOL? He just invested.
Oh, yeah, Steve Case, right?
Yeah, he just invested in some, new app, millions of dollars that does something about sharing nannies or whatever it is, keeping up on your housework people or whatever. So again, you're way ahead of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Case, the AOL guy, right? He was an investor in Zipcar, and maybe still is, right? And that's what's happened is people have taken that Zipcar model and applied it to all different types of assets and things. So people can share homes and rides and clothing and you name it. I mean, it's just even workspace and retail store space. So the list of things that can be shared through these services is growing and growing.
Right. Well, I mean, when you talk about saving $17,000, I mean, that has to get your attention. Why go out and try to figure out how to make $17,000 more?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Why work harder? You can do things in just a slightly different way that doesn't require much more work. And save a ton of cash. And for instance, like one of the things that I did is I got rid of a car.
Oh.
And so we went from a 2-car family to a 1-car family, and my wife needed to still commute, so she had the car, and then I used public transportation, my bicycle, car sharing, and ride sharing to get around, and that saved me a few thousand. That saved me like $3,000 or $4,000 alone.
Well, I've read data like 80% of our car time we don't use. So we got this thing with this asset we're not using 80% of the time. That's nonsense.
Yeah, for the average home, Matthew, like
Yeah.
it's the second highest household expense. So you have these idle assets, they're just sitting there. It's either you can get rid of one of them and use other services to fill in the gap, or you can now with services like relay rides and get around, you can rent your car to your neighbor
Yeah.
and earn extra cash.
So I think that's what's the key now is technology has made this possible. I mean, we shared lawnmowers, in the past and things like that, in occasion. But now, the guy across town, it's easy to share with, or even another country or, or whatever, because and then plus who's willing to share because everybody's on that website, right?
Yeah, exactly. And um, they also have things like ratings and reviews. So and a profile. So you kind of know who you have choice about who
Yeah.
you share with,
Right.
and you obviously you want to share with people that you can trust the most. And this gives you a kind of a head start. The sites do.
Yeah.
It gives you some
That's
security.
true because
There's
everybody's vented that goes on these sites, so you sort of know, and they're if they've done it before, they get reviewed automatically. Your asshole neighbor, you never. You're the only one who knows he's an idiot.
Yeah, and these sites have the scheduling and the billing and insurance. So it gives you a kind of a whole system to make it easy, fun, and practical to do.
No, it seems like the technology has taken out all the drudgery of that which we'd have to go. I mean, without that, we'd be knocking on doors all over the neighborhood asking, "Hey, is your car free tomorrow at 2?"
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that's really cool, and what, people come for the savings, Matthew, they may have an economic need, like, oh, geez, I need to save some money, things are tight, I'm between jobs, whatever the situation. But what they find is that it's really a much more fun way to do things than to go to a big corporation where you're dealing with someone that's like following a script, and
Right.
it's all very
I'm
pat and
human.
boring, right?
Well, I think that's the other thing too is that we're really becoming more connected that way instead of going to some big brother who's faceless or whatever, like Comcast. They're just dreadful.
Oh yeah,
people
like
that-
Comcast. Like everyone around here hates Comcast.
Oh
Believe.
man, I do too. And I guess because they have a monopoly or whatever, they could get away with treating people badly. But you can't on these sites because, man, that flag goes up and you're not going to do anything anymore.
Right. So I rent a car from my neighbor Peg Powell down the street. I ride my bike down there. We chat a little bit.
Right.
I put my bike in her garage, and then I take her car. But if I wreck her car, or if I'm late, or if I leave it dirty, she's going to leave a review,
Exactly.
and then I'm not going to. Then people trust me in the system. Then I lose access
Right.
to the assets in that community.
It's like telling your mother you don't want your mother to know.
Well, yeah, exactly, right. It's like big mother, big brother, right? But yeah, I think it's a very healthy level of accountability, though, right?
Oh, it is to an individual, not to some corporation. I don't feel accountable to Comcast.
Yeah, and me either. Yeah, and if you do good, then people want to help you. So yeah.
No, I think it's great. So your site now is really the place to go to find out anything you want to know about this phenomenon that's going on in our country and the world. It's not only us, right?
Yeah, so shareable.net, and Shareable is a nonprofit. Our mission is to empower everyone to share.
Right.
And we do we do our publishing, and we have our new book.
Oh, Share or Die. That's right, and I think that's apropos. And you could down or read it for free on the website, or you could buy it in hard copy.
Yeah,
if
I mean
you
it's
want.
on
Right.
Amazon, but it's also for every story in this anthology is on our site
Yeah.
as well. And then we're the other thing we do to help people share and achieve our mission is we do community organizing, so and convening locally. We're building a sharing movement, and we want to, by the end of 2015, we want to have launched 100 local sharing movements in cities around the world.
Oh, really? Well, that's wonderful. So if I'm interested in getting involved in this movement, really, is your site, and really how to start a sharing community in my neighborhood if we don't have anything like that.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the idea. We think that every community can become a sharing community or a sharing city, and our first step is to connect the people that are already sharing to each other and the kind of leaders that are already there, and then build movements locally from that.
Well, wonderful. Well, Neil, I'm so glad you're there. You're going to get rid of all this junk I have in the house. Because the more junk I have, the more I have to worry about my junk. And I'd rather share other people's and let them worry about it, and I just use it. And it's shareable.net, SHAREABLE.net. See, I
Yes,
spell
sir.
all
You
the
got
time.
it, Matthew.
Thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you, Matthew.